There is a poem by Shel Silverstein that begins with a proud dad giving his smartest son a dollar bill. The boy takes the dollar bill and trades it for 2 quarters because he thinks that 2 is better than 1. As the poem continues, the young boy goes to trade his 2 quarters for 3 dimes, his 3 dimes for 4 nickels, and his 4 nickels for 5 pennies. Ironically, this poem is called Smart, while the boy goes from having $1 to 5 cents. He takes these pennies and shows his father, who proceeds to close his eyes and shake his head. The boy thinks his dad's expressions are out of pride, but I think we all know the truth. The poor boy's son wasn't all that smart after all. When I was younger, this poem by Silverstein made me laugh, probably because that boy is, well, not very smart if he goes from having $1 to 5 cents. I mean, I wasn't the brightest crayon in the box, and I wouldn't even do that. Pennies, which were once significant advances in our economy, are now trivial and often considered a burden. However, there is no doubt that pennies have changed history, or at least put change in our pockets. So, let's take out our coin purses and sort through the history of the penny, crack open our piggy banks to see what the penny is really worth, explore the multiple uses for the penny, and finally, test your common sense, pun intended, to see if you really deserve a penny for your thoughts. To get to the beginning of the penny, we must travel back in time to the 1700s. As the original 13 colonies were coming to life, it became apparent that a monetary system was necessary. The design for the first U.S. penny, whose name derived from the British counterpart, the pence, was conceived by Benjamin Franklin and was struck in 1787 at a private mint. Soon after the ratification of the Constitution, plans were put into place to create a national mint in Philadelphia. The mint became the first federal building commissioned under the U.S. Constitution, and in March of 1793 it produced its first coins for circulation, 11,178 shiny copper pennies. The original penny appeared very different from the penny we know today. According to documents from the United States Mint, the first penny was made of pure copper and was about the size of a modern-day $1 coin. It featured a woman with long flowing hair who was said to depict liberty. The reverse side of the penny was a chain of linking rings that represented unification of the states, but it was quickly redesigned into a wreath because critics were convinced it actually was symbolic of slavery. The penny design has changed many times throughout the years, each one representing the United States in a unique way. One of the better-known designs is the Lincoln cent that began circulation in 1909 and is the longest-running coin type in U.S. history. The Lincoln cent is the only coin in which the president is facing to the right, aside from the nickel that was produced in 2005, but was only made for 1 year. All other coins have the president facing to the left. The Lincoln penny also marked the introduction of the famous phrase, "In God We Trust," to U.S. currency. And no, the other popular phrase, "A penny saved is a penny earned," being one of the most famous quotes of all time, isn't on a single cent. This saying's advice was coined, again, pun intended, by Benjamin Franklin. Because of the fluctuating prices of metal, this saying now has meaning that Benjamin Franklin probably never dreamed of. When the first penny was created, it was made of 100% copper, the purest the coin would ever be. The chemical composition of the penny has changed multiple times, most notably during World War II, when copper resources were needed for military use. The rising prices of metal led to a predicament for the U.S. government, as it eventually cost more to mint the penny than it was actually worth. According to USA Today, the penny cost 1.23 cents to mint, giving the government one good reason to stop the circulation of pennies. They cost hundreds of thousands of dollars every year to make, which is money pennies simply aren't worth. In 1983, the copper ratio was dropped to just 2.5%. So, if you reach into your pocket and find a penny dated 1982 or before, the value of copper alone makes it worth about 1.54 cents. Don't dismiss this as loose change. Luke Burgess, a reporter for Wealth Daily News, points out that if you have 1 million pennies just stashed around your house in old coffee cans, the value of copper is around $15,400, $5,400 more than face value. Scoring big is just the intent of those who call themselves penny hoarders. These penny partiers literally sift through buckets of pennies that they purchase off of eBay or Craigslist in search of any penny dated before the year of 1982, one day hoping to take their treasure and cash in. So, the modern day version of Ben Franklin's motto could really be, "A penny saved is a penny and a half earned." But the value of the penny has translated into more than just its money's worth. Pennies have been responsible for more than pocket change throughout the years. They've also had an impact on cultural fads. They have also had an impact on cultural fads. In the 1930s, the penny loafer craze began. It had people walking along the streets for decades to come with a little pep in their step and a shiny penny stripped in the strap of their shoe. Have you ever tossed a penny into a fountain? That ritual started with British and Celtic mythology and has been adopted into the American tradition. Who isn't enticed by making a wish and tossing a penny over their shoulder into a fountain, then watching as our wishes ripple over the water? A more recent craze is the souvenir penny machine. The machine originated in 1979 and was placed in a hardware store in Oregon. And now you can find them almost anywhere: the zoo, tourist attractions, hotels, malls, airports. These penny machines are everywhere. My parents find it annoying that I'm in high school and I still press a penny for every spot where we vacation. This one being from Universal Studios in Orlando. And since it actually costs 51 cents to mint, Mr. Franklin would be smiling at the inventor's brilliant entrepreneurship. So, now that you've learned the history, worth, and uses of the penny, I hope the next time you see one laying on the ground, you will pick it up, check its creation date, and decide what to do. Put it in your piggy bank, your bank account, your change purse, loafers, or in your pocket. Toss your penny into a fountain or well and make a wish. Maybe a wish for more common sense. Take your penny and turn it into a souvenir, or just lay it back down on the ground, face up, and pass the luck on to some other passerby. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned all you've ever wanted to know about the penny.